This is TWiT.
Casey Newton called this the biggest changes to docs in a decade.
Yeah, he was quite excited.
And he also said it may not be enough. But Docs has not been a sexy, glitzy product for Google ever, probably.
Do we want it to be a sexy?
No, it was good
product?
enough.
We want to be.
It got the job
utilitarian.
done. Yeah.
Well, I think that's the point. I mean, the thing about Wave was that Wave was, oh, we're going to do it a whole new way. And Docs was, okay, we quite like the editing together in parallel thing. We'll take that, but we'll keep the document model we've already got. And a big chunk, Docs used to be a bit more radical in that it was very web-like, and it got more document-like over time as they showed it to more Microsoft users. Microsoft users said, I haven't got this little thing I wanted. And of course, Microsoft Office now has caught up with Docs pretty much. It's not quite as clean, but you can edit in Word and it'll appear on the web to other people, and the cursors will appear and stuff will work. And it puts little warnings up saying, don't try and edit the same thing, bad things will happen. But it's they're sort of there. So I think Google said, okay, what can we do that rebuilds this in a different way? What can we bring in that we've already got? And I think part of it is what you said. It's also them. It's solving the problem that they have, which is we're trying to collaborate with 8 people across 6 time zones to try and agree that the product release, which is like, okay, that's a problem that you have. That's not a problem that many of us have. I mean, okay, I guess we're across 4 time zones here and we're having a conversation about stuff in a spreadsheet. So I guess we're doing it too. But the particulars of the
By the way, it's a Google Docs
weird.
Spreadsheet. I just want to make sure you.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been trying to get that moved over to Notion or some other more modern thing. That's one of the problems Casey raises is, Google here has to deal with the picayune, he uses that word, the picayune needs of Microsoft Office users. And so it unfortunately keeps them.
It holds it back.
Tamped down. Whereas there are a lot of startups like Roam and Notion, and I can go on and on that are doing really interesting things with Docs.
Well, I get such tool fatigue. I've got one colleague who is brilliant, absolutely brilliant at knowing every tool, but then he presents 50 tools to the faculty, and our heads explode. And we just say, give us Docs again.
That's what happens, I think. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, Airtable valued at $5.77 billion. Notion raised $50 million. Coda raised money at a value of $600 million. These are all companies that are innovating because they don't have the innovator's dilemma. They don't have to preserve any incumbency at all. They can start with the clean slate.
But it's also, it's Google was preserving Microsoft's incumbency to some extent. Docs ended up with a floppy disk button originally because people were scared that it wasn't
sad. So sad.
But that was it. They built this thing that's like, we're going to edit stuff on the web, and they gradually converged on Office because everyone was used to Office.
Right.
And I've been editing a long document in Word this week, and I forgot how annoying it was, and it's still I'm switching between outline mode and print view mode and web view mode, and the images disappear in outline mode. And
Kevin, have you tried any of the more modern tools? I've been using Roam and Notion.
I've tried Roam.
Obsidian.
I've used Miro.
What is it?
Miro. That's I think someone in chat mentioned that as well. That's a sort of collaborative Canvas thing. So if you were doing like Post-its on the whiteboard type collaboration, it's designed for doing that.
So it's much more kind of graphical whiteboardy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were talking about, it's like multiplayer Prezi. You're basically arranging visual things in a space.
Here, you could show it, John. I have it on the screen here.
Yeah. Yeah. So you all get to be in the box and move things around and collaborate on a.
This actually looks like what Google demonstrated, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, it may be a bit like that. It's like they may have learned something from this, but it's very canvassy. So what I've done I've used it in, the sort of places where you'd have the big meeting with the company, and you put Post-its on a whiteboard and come up with strategy.
This would be less desirable for a text presentation. Yes, you wouldn't want to write in this.
No, you wouldn't. No, this is more like, I've got a bunch of ideas. We're trying to arrange them into a thing. Then you go away and write it up. So that kind of spatial brainstorming thing that you were talking about with Prezi as well.
Yeah.
You know what? Some of these things replicate the things I hate. I have come to hate Post-it note meetings. I see Post-it notes and I run.
Yeah.
Oh no, brainstorming time.
Design thinking.
Breakout time.
How do you plot out your books, Jeff?
Oh, Stacey.
How do you? Actually, that's a good question. Do you use an outliner, Jeff? At least?
Nope.
You
I
just
use
start writing.
You know what I use?
What?
A
Whiteboard.
pile of whiteboards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you can't
Yeah.
see them.
I use whiteboards, but the function of the whiteboard is kind of like
To hold the Post-it
like,
notes.
Yeah.
Well, like, because like, this is an idea I care about. This is an example of that idea. You know, let's start throwing things up there.
Yeah.
And then you.
But that's the point. Is you arrange them spatially. So you write things on index cards or post-its and spread them around, and then say, oh, these ones belong together. And doing that kind of thing is actually quite hard in a word processing type interface.
I think outliners do a very good job. Dave Weiner, the creative. Dave Weiner, the creative RSS, is the kind of prototypical outliner guy. He invented all of the best outliners, including more, going way back to when on the Macintosh.
I mean, they're okay, but they're very hierarchical. That's the thing. You can put you're putting things inside other things and collapsing.
You can drag things around, though.
But you can't put them off to one side and
to
leave them there
side.
for a bit and then bring them back later. So the thing about, arranging index cards on the thing and saying, okay, these ones definitely belong together. I'm not sure which order this story goes in. Oh, that one goes there. Sort of the storyboarding thing, or the that kind of arranging the ideas part is easier with the spatial thing. And
so this is why I like Notion.
This is why I like Prezi as well. Prezi was good for that too.
Notion is another, but this is what happens. You get tool fatigue. Notion is another way to do that kind of thing with cards, and it's pretty and you can drag stuff around, but you can also, dig into it, and so you can get text. You can also,
but can you put 3 cards on the screen and put them side by side?
Yeah, totally. So here's an example.
I use whiteboard, eraser, and arrows. Oh no, that should be up there.
Yeah, I can't do that freeform annotation.
But you're not doing that. What was the other one I was playing with the other day?
See, here's
so
this is interesting. These are trips we've taken in a text list, or table, but then you can also do cards. Yeah, everybody has a different way of doing this, I guess. This is Notion. It's not the perfect tool, but I think there's really interesting stuff being done, frankly, in these tools.
Oh yeah,
Rome Research is really interesting too. I don't know if you've played with that at all, but these are all
Rome, like as in moving, or Rome as in the city.
ROAM. Okay. And it's a note-taking tool. It has a, what it really is, and Kevin will recognize this immediately. It's a wiki, but it's a wiki with backlinks. And I mean, if I say that, it minimizes it. It's really a note-taking tool, but because it supports backlinks, it ends up being kind of a wiki in effect. It's very powerful, and there are people doing some amazing things with it as well. So. That's what I'm saying is that, and that's what Casey Newton was saying, is it's going to be tough for Google as an incumbent, especially an incumbent that has to appease Microsoft Word users.
Is that where this new model works, though? You can embed the Microsoft Word document in your Google document. Fine, it's there. You can see it, you can change it, you can get to it, but you can have all this fancy stuff around it.
Yeah, I think I like the model. I thought Wave was great too, though.
Yeah, I did too. I thought Wave was changing the way we work.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you just got to wait till it comes around to that.
It could have been ahead of its time.
Succeed.
Yeah,
I think it was.
So I stuck another link in the
See, this is how we would work if we were in a collaborative environment. You would just put that on the show, and it would appear in the screen. I really am intrigued by the idea of doing the kinds of shows we do in a much more kind of, with text and images.
So there's another screen here that we can cut to.
Kind of an integrative environment.
Which is what we do in class, right?
Yeah.
Or your dude that you had on, he did Evernote. What's his name? Phil
Libin. Yeah. In fact, Maggie in her article mentions, this is her article at maggieappleton.com, the linear oppression of note-taking apps. She mentions Evernote, but also Notion, also Rome, also OneNote, Bear, and Obsidian, all of which I used and have used.
I was thinking about his next thing with the video cameras, where you can throw up the virtual camera, so you can throw up things like you do on a TV news show, but you could actually integrate that into the actual performance.
You like the coda of Maggie's blog post, Jeff. Surely Gutenberg has something to answer for. Yeah. Who's to blame for our linear textual predicament?
McLuhan. the line, this sentence is an example of it, becomes our organizing principle.
Yeah.
Quoth Gutenberg.
So that goes back to our original conversation, Stacey, of is nature or nurture? Is it learned, or is it representing how our brain actually works?
Or let's get us our favorite GIF. Why not both?
I do feel like the thing that is most interesting, and I'm sure, Kevin, you feel the same way, about the technological world we're living in, is that it does kind of take the cards and throw them up in the air and say, well, it doesn't have to be this way. You know, it doesn't have to be a linotype or a line of lead. I know, Jeff. It can be something else. But ironically, honestly, we're still doing typewriters. They're just digital.
Well, that's exactly the point. Yes. And what are we doing on our phones? Right? We're trying to replicate the keyboard sense.
So maybe it's time to think outside the box a little bit, except the human brain is so boxed that
that's why
think
outside the QWERTY.
Outside the QWERTY.